It's no secret that in the restaurant industry, January is typically slow, but January often feels slow in a way that makes restaurant owners take it personally. Not just quieter, but heavier, like something dramatic changed overnight. In today's video, I want to explain why January is typically slow and also touch on a little bit of the psychology of customer behavior immediately following the holidays. Because in the minds of your diners, January isn't a slow month, it's really a reset month. In your restaurant, January does not behave like other slow months. It feels different, heavier, more discouraging, at times, even a little bit personal. And that's because January just doesn't change customer behavior. It changes how restaurant owners interpret that behavior. Most slow months are about rhythm. January is more about recoil. It comes immediately after one of the most intense periods of consumption for the entire year. Food, spending, socializing, travel. January is what happens when all of that stops at once. Customers don't drift into January. They pull back into it. After the holidays, customers experience a quiet psychological pullback. Not panic, not fear, not crisis, but self-regulation, self-awareness. They've overconsumed, they know it, and not just financially, but socially and emotionally as well. So January becomes the month where people try to regain control. They simplify, they slow down, they reduce decisions. This isn't about being broke, it's more about resetting. In fact, one of the biggest misconceptions is that customers are broke in January. Most aren't, they're just aware. They're reviewing statements, paying off balances, taking inventory. Budget awareness starts to narrow behavior. It doesn't eliminate it though. Customers still eat out, they just become more selective when they do. They choose what feels familiar, what feels safe, what feels like it's actually worth the effort. January is also a habit reset month as well. People reevaluate their routines from the last year. They tend to cook more, they stay in more, they default to convenience. When people reset their habits, they don't experiment. They simplify. Fewer spontaneous dinners, fewer new places, more what's easiest for tonight. That shift alone explains a large part of the customer behavior that you see in January for your restaurant. Now, although January feels like customer motivation is gone, it really isn't. January doesn't remove motivation. It just raises the threshold. Going out has to feel familiar. It has to feel comfortable. It has to feel like it's worth leaving the house. Restaurants that feel mentally easy, they win in the minds of diners. Not because they're cheaper, but because they're more present. Now, that's why discounting feels tempting in the month of January. It feels like it's the right lever to pull when things slow down. But January psychology is not about urgency, it's about restraint. Discounts try to put pressure on your diners, but January behavior is usually about reducing pressure. That mismatch is why discounts often feel like they're ineffective in the month of January. They don't address what's really happening in the customer's mind. Because of this, it's important to reframe January as a relevance test. January isn't punishing restaurants, it's just testing them. It reveals which restaurants remain relevant when the customers are more selective, which ones feel familiar, which ones feel easy, which ones feel comfortable, which ones stay present. January does not reward noise, it doesn't reward hype, it rewards steadiness. Now, if January has felt discouraging for you and your restaurant, it's not because demand disappeared, it's because customer psychology shifted. And that's why I created the January Jumpstart. It's a short, practical, 10-step Reset, designed to help small independent restaurants stay visible, stay relevant, and maintain momentum during one of the most psychologically difficult months in the entire year. You can get a free copy at restaurantmarketingreset.com. It's the best place to start if January starts to feel harder than it should. Before we close, it's important to remember two things. Number one, in the post-pandemic economy, good food just isn't good enough anymore. And number two, if no one walks in your restaurant, nothing else matters. I'm Donovan Garrett. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.